All right, man. So news broke late last week. Toni Kroos is coming out of retirement, going back to the German national team after 3 years of being away. What do you make of it, man?
Well, I'll tell you, the last 3 years for the German national team have been nothing but disappointment.
Poopy,
Like,
straight
pippa.
poopy.
Very much so. So I can only imagine this will galvanize them at least a little bit. They have not impressed at all on the pitch. I think their only good result in the last 3 years was they beat France in a friendly.
Yeah, I mean they did terrible at the World Cup. They finished third in their group behind
They did
Spain and Japan.
well. They also did terrible in the prior Euros. So it's not like they've had much success since he left, even with him there in the last Euros. So
Yeah, even when he was there, like honestly, the only thing we remember is that free kick he scored. I think it was Marco Royce just rolls it out a little bit. He's from that tight angle and just
mhm.
curls it into that upper corner. That's about the last thing I remember from Toni Kroos in the German national team.
Same here.
But yeah, even Germany just have not played the best. I mean,
Which
some of these friendlies, they lost 2-0 to Austria, lost 3-2 to Turkey, drew 2-2 to Mexico, beat the US, and beat France. Is this kind of Nagelsmann playing around? I mean, some of these games he wasn't there.
Yeah, Hansi Flick was, and I think he stepped down after the Turkey game, if I'm not mistaken.
And so they have been playing around with different lineups, playing three at the back four. So he's messing around with this lineup and definitely with his personnel. But man, this Germany has a
They're stacked,
plethora of
man.
talent,
They're
man.
stacked.
A
Yeah.
plethora, yes.
I mean, if you just literally look at the midfield options that Nagelsmann now has, I mean, you got Toni Kroos, you got Ilkay Gundogan, Joshua Kimmich, Leon Goretzka, Florian Wirtz, Pascal Gross, Jamal Musiala, Kai Havertz, Julian Brandt, you got Andrich, Furyk, Hoffman, and Amre Can. Like, that in itself is a lot. And then don't forget, you got players like Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané, Thomas Mueller, also there. So, I mean, that's like four midfield's worth of midfielders.
It is. And so, like, Nagelsmann, he has his work cut out for him, man, trying to figure out what the best lineup is with these players.
Yeah, and I didn't their last game against France, didn't Kai Havertz play like left back or something like that?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Something crazy, and he still got a goal. I don't get it.
And so, with
So
Nagelmann's having this issue of picking a starting lineup for Germany, we're going to throw our hats in the ring and give who we would start. If we were the German national team coach, who this starting lineup would be. So,
yeah,
so give me yours first, man. Who do you got in goal?
okay. So I'm gonna go through everything because there's a whole system to this
Okay.
German national team. So I did a long look at it, and
It was
there's some
hard.
interesting formations you could go with.
Tons of formations you could go
Tons of
with the players
formations,
that you
tons of
have.
possibilities. I mean, you got strikers that are in form right now, and I didn't start any of them.
I
So
know, yeah.
in goal, I did Mark Andre Ter Stegen.
I don't like it.
Manuel Neuer's been unconvincing. I'm
Dude, are
sorry.
you kidding me? He comes up with amazing. He is keeping Bayern
Does.
Munich
He
in some
does.
of these games.
And Ter Stegen keeps Barcelona in some games as well.
He's
So
been hurt quite a bit this season, I would say. Ter
I know,
Stegen.
I know. And honestly, again, flip a coin for whoever's healthy, you could start them. They're both
They're
world class goalies.
they are. They are both
It's
class.
not gonna really
If
matter
one's
that
out,
much.
yeah, it doesn't really matter too much.
All right. And then my defense, I went with I love the inverted fullback system so much that
Okay.
I essentially did three center backs.
Three center backs. Who are your three center
So
backs?
I did my center backs are Rudiger and Jonathan Tah are
Okay,
my
yeah.
two, and then at right back I did Nicholas Schlotterbeck because he can
Schlotterback.
play
Okay.
that. He can play that center back, right back role, and then I have Rom as my left back, who can play more into the midfield if need be.
Yep. David Rom.
And then around Toni Kroos in midfield,
So you are
I
starting
have
him. Okay.
I have Joshua Kimmich
Kimmich.
because you can allow him to get a little more forward, and Kimmich can stay back to allow the freedom for Kroos to move around. I did an attacking mid of Jamal Musiala because, I mean, you can't not start him.
So is
I mean,
this kind
he's
of like
the
a
best player.
4-2-3-1
Kind of.
formation? Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot like, I mean, I hate to say it, it's a lot like Arsenal's formation because at striker, I do have Kai Havertz, so more of a box midfield to give them a little
So
more
more of a false nine then.
false nine. Yeah, because we all know how much Leroy Sané likes to get up the field and pinch in. And then I did Florian Wirtz at my right wing, so you have a lot more fluidity with that midfield in the front three because that's what they've been lacking in attack. But I mean, this would give you a bench of Fulkrug, Undev, Gundogan, Andrich, Thea, Gross, Goretzka, Anton, Brandt, Hoffman, Shan, Heinrichs, etc. Like this is a stacked bench either way, and you could trade out literally any of these guys for any
And
of
so
these
who's your
players.
attacking midfielder in this formation?
Musiala.
Okay, duh. Yeah. So you have Musiala as that attacking mid and Verts are on the right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it also allows them to be interchangeable, right? So they can both go in and out. Sane can play as more of a striker at times. Havertz can drop back in. Just makes everything interchangeable for all their pieces. And with the way all of them play, it makes sense. You could also use Serge Gnabry up top in that striker role. So that way him and Verts can kind of go back and forth as well.
So mine's a little different. Not a whole lot, but there's definitely some changes I would make in mine. So for me in goal, I had Manuel Neuer. For left back, I also went with Rom. My center backs, I had Antonio Rudiger, and man, I debated on this one for the other center back, either Jonathan Tah or Anton, who's playing fantastic for Stuttgart. I ended up going with Jonathan Tah, just the way Leverkusen are playing. They're fantastic, best defense in the league. And then I went with Joshua Kimmich at right back. I had to get him in my team, man. I had to. And so I think, again, he's going to be pushing up quite a bit, probably moving into that midfield. But that's where I would deploy Kimmich at. Because in my midfield, I went with Toni Kroos and Robert Enrich.
Yeah.
From Bayer Leverkusen.
So a lot of the same system, right? Where, you get more of a Kimmich coming into that inverted fullback role.
And I wanted a destroyer in that midfield. Because with Gundogan, Kroos, Kimmich, I don't see him really as, hard-nosed midfielders that will make that tough tackle. And I think
Andrich really is.
You get that with Andrich. He can protect that back line and allow Kroos to do his thing. Yeah. Allow Kimmich to come into that midfield. And then my attacking midfielder. So my formation is similar. It's kind of a 4-2-3-1. My attacking midfielder, Jamal Musiala. I also went with Florian Wirtz out on the right, Leroy Sané on the left. But I do have a striker that is not Kai Havertz. It is Dennis Undev.
I know, and I almost picked him because he's in such good form right now.
Such good form right now. The guy is on fire. He has 14 goals and 4 assists and 19 appearances in the Bundesliga. He's playing for Stuttgart, if you don't know.
Blows my mind. Only 19 appearances. He's got 18 goal involvements. That is an amazing return.
He has stepped up since Seru Girasai went off to Africa Cup of Nations. When he got injured, he has just been slotted in there like nothing changed.
Like butter.
But yeah, it's crazy seeing him do this for Stuttgart because you remember who he used to play for in the Premier League, Brighton, where it never really went off for him, but he's doing it in the Bundesliga.
Moments of brilliance, but a lot of times he was just there.
Exactly. And like you said, this bench, it still has Fulkrug, who you could slot in that striker role. Pascal Gross, I really wanted to get into this team.
He's in such good form as well.
He is.
He's in his life.
I mean, you still have Leon Goretzka, like you mentioned, Hoffman, who's been amazing for Leverkusen as well. Gnabry, Brandt. So lots of good players. But that's our German national team lineup. What do you guys think? Let us know what changes you would make, what players you would add, or
what systems you would apply
what
here.
What system? What
there's
formation
a lot
would you use?
That Nagelsmann could do, yeah. I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say. Let us know. I'm very interested.
Yes, let us know on our YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. Today's episode is brought to you by Acorn Hills Clothing Company. Sustainable clothing, biodegradable packaging, tree planted for every purchase, and a percentage of their sales donated to charities.
Yeah, and that's not even the best part. They give you these plantable clothing tags with every purchase. Pretty much greatest idea ever.
That
You
is
scan
awesome.
the QR code right here for planting instructions. So make sure you go to www.acornhillsco.com and use Brews15. That is BREWS15 at checkout. 15% off and have your tree planted today.
Yes, don't forget to use our code Brews15 at checkout for 15% off. This is one you don't want to miss, guys.